Kindness is emotionally generous. I must be watchful. I'm seeing who are and aren't skilled to receive. I receive what others' blind spots are. It's almost countdown time. 7:59 will be starting at 8 o'clock. Greetings. Thank you for coming in early. Thank you so much. I'm going to start at 8 o'clock on the dot. I'm magnificent at releasing expired emotional ties to how I structure my life with people, knowledge, money, friends, nutrition, health of my body, love, and time. I'm free from over-explaining and justifying my choices. My cutoffs aren't personal, they're spiritual. Anyways, I call back all energy that belongs to me. I am not the caretaker of those who want to stay asleep. I release the programming of being overly responsible. It is Sunday, January 11th, 2026. Greetings, Beewives, Africa enthusiasts. We are going live today. We're going to be going live twice a week at 8 o'clock. So I'm hoping you will join me. There's a lot of things happening. A couple days ago, I received a notice that a well-known YouTuber passed away in Ghana. I was hoping to have a serious conversation about it, so we will wait till the time is appropriate. But first, I want to offer my heartfelt condolences to her family, to her friends. I didn't know her personally. Many did, many favored her, many did not favor her, but she is our sister. And so today I honor her and give thanks for her life. She was such a young lady, demised at the age of 45 on January the 8th or 9th, I think it is, in Gambia. Not in Gambia, in Ghana, excuse me. She made her journey. She started off in the Gambia, um, and lived there for quite some time and had some relationships, good and some not so good. Then she migrated to Ghana and was met with cancer. So she was very vigilant in regards to how she took care of herself. But cancer is known disease. It's a very known disease, and it is no respecter of persons. Okay, regardless of how you take care of yourself, it's just difficult for me to wrap my brain around it. So many young African Americans are dying behind cancer. So let me go ahead and get started. I've been on this series about belonging in Africa. So I want to just piggyback off of that and set some stages and some rules about how to navigate. So tonight I'm going to be talking about the 5 humility rules that earn trust fast without shrinking yourself. So I'm just going to be having this conversation, and if you like, you can drop some notes in the chat if you want to make a contribution to the conversation. But the more of us who are engaged, the more of us who have formal input or conversations, the better we can start framing how we navigate and how we migrate to different parts of the world, especially in Africa. So respect isn't begging, it's behavior. Here are 5 moves locals read immediately. So I want you guys to think about this. Humility is social intelligence with boundaries. And so now we're in a phase of artificial intelligence, uh, all across the board in every capacity of life. So we don't think about the social aspect, but there's a social intelligence that still exists. And that intelligence would require us to set boundaries. Okay. So when I'm thinking about African Americans, so how can we center ourselves when we've been, traditionally uncentered in this situation? So, what's up, family? Welcome back to Be Wise Africa Movement. Welcome back to our new niche, which is Be Wise African Network. If you're new here, this channel is for Africa, the African diaspora, and the foundational Black American. We're covering Blackness, global Blackness, wherever you are, because you know what? It is going to take our collective collaboration, working together to solve some of our issues and to ensure that we are creating a space for ourselves and that we are rewriting, not rewriting, yes, rewriting and writing and telling our story and not his story, especially as Black Americans navigating identity, culture, and power. So tonight is personal because we weren't raised to just be. We were raised to prove you are respectable, prove you belong, prove you're not a threat, prove you are smart enough, prove you deserve the very basic necessities in life. But here's the truth: respect isn't begging, it's built. And people don't read your intentions, they read your behavior and your mannerisms. So tonight, I'm going to give 5 humility rules that earn trust fast without shrinking, without you performing for it, and without you losing yourself in it. So, do me a favor. I want you to drop where you are watching from, the state and the city. And if you are in America or living abroad or you're traveling, tell us where you are in this beautiful world. I'm a little bit off today because I've just been reading so many comments about this young lady who passed away. She was just 45 years of age. So that is just wrapped around my brain. And the level of hatred and intolerance and confusion that is coming out of it, I don't understand it. We're all human. I'm not perfect. She wasn't perfect, and the people involved in her circle was certainly not perfect. So, it's challenging for me to understand why there's so much self-hatred. If you engage in a situation without vetting your person or verifying that it's accurate, and you participate and you give a person all of your money. This happens quite a bit in Africa. And you're saying, I want to come home. And you've released a certain amount of money to somebody. And you get there and you find out you've been scammed. And so, two wrongs don't make a right. Where's your accountability in giving money to people you don't know? There's something, the light's on, but nobody's home. I'm just gonna make it plain. The light is on, but nobody's home. So you can't send money to people you don't know to a country where you're going to buy land. So that's troubling me, and the responses and the negativity about her death and what the people, her victims, are the people who were scammed by her but they also scam themselves because they fail to do their due diligence. But the problem is that she's transitioned and she's passed on. So when will you take accountability for your actions, and when will you walk in love and forgiveness? Sometimes people will go to their death and transition and move on and still be full of hate. And so, two wrongs never makes a right. So I want you to also hit like early in this episode. It helps push this live to more of our people who are considering repatriation, who are discovering, history and exploring our culture, and also trying to connect the bridge and understand who we are as a people. Let's engage one another. Let's make this light. Let's make this challenging. Let's be who our ancestors has called us to be. Whether you're indigenous, black, Creole, mulatto, Hebrew, Moor, a foundational black American, black, African American, Brazilian, Jamaican American, Dominican, all of those things and those subgroups that we've been labeled. And so it's imperative that we come together, and you see the Sahel region doing exactly what we need to do. So why this hits African Americans differently? Everybody knows that African Americans are different from other global blacks. Okay, it is something uniquely and distinctly different about African Americans. We often carry two extremes into new places. Okay, let us just hit the hammer on the nail. It is the armor. I'm not letting anyone play with me. And so you get a lot of pushback. We don't really take the time to listen and to honor and to understand. We are so guarded. And so we carry an armor 24/7. And that is good when it comes to darting arrows that are coming from outside. But when it's internal, we have to let our shield down so that we can build this collaborative network. Okay. And then the other piece is performing. If I'm not perfect, they'll accept me. And if you are perfect, what? If you are intelligent, if you are educated, does that mean you're going to dummy down yourself in order to fit in? But that's not humility. Neither will it build trust or long term relationships. And I'm not blaming us, I'm just trying to name it, okay? A lot of us are walking around with historical pressure in our nervous systems and in our bodies. We carry it just like we carry the skin cells on our skin, the blood that's running through our veins. We carry that type of pressure, whether it's self induced pressure or whether it's generational pressure, it exists and it is coming out through our central nervous system. So tonight, we're not talking about being weak. We're talking about being effective. Say this with me, please. Humility is not shrinking. Humility is social intelligence with boundaries. So if you could please put I'm going to add a question in the chat right now. Let me do this. And so the question is, do you struggle more with over explaining or overreaching? I want you to respond with explain or react. Okay, so that is the question. Overreaching, overreacting. Let me change that to overreacting. Okay, so the question again is, do you struggle more with over explaining or overreacting? Type explain or react in the comment, okay? All right, so here's a simple trust formula. And I need you to write this down for me. Trust equals respect, restraint, and reciprocity. So, respect is how you enter. Restraint is going to be what you don't say and do. And then reciprocity is, do you contribute or do you just consume? All right. So, we're used to speaking up because silence has cost us, right? But in new spaces, in new countries, the power move is often restraint first, more so than strategy. And so we need to think about, how we are performing as well as how we are responding, and learning that restraint is not a bad thing. Restraint can equal trust and respect. Okay, that is a clear strategy to understanding your new environment. And guess what? Just like if you come to my house and this is the first time you're coming, or it could be a third time you're coming, you should always enter as a guest and not a judge, right? Because I've opened my doors to you, my home to you, so you are welcome, but you are being welcomed as a guest. And so, when you're entering these spaces, we're going to apply some basic rules so that we understand how to navigate certain situations. So, rule number one, as a guest, we are not judging our environment, right? I'm gonna put this in the chat. That's good. So we are not going to judge our environment. And why wouldn't we do that? So I think we need to be real. African Americans are trained by survival to scan environments fast. What's safe, what's shady, and who's fake. So we want to determine the level of safety and security. That is a built in mechanism that we have. And it's critical to have that. So it's just a trained part of who we are. That instinct protects us, but it shows up as just judgment in other spaces, and it blocks trust. So when people start clocking immediately, they'll notice your facial expressions, your tones, how fast you compare, and how fast you correct. I remember I had a boss years ago, and she said we were both in the clinical health uh, in the clinical health field, and she said to me, "If looks could kill, your facial expressions tell everything." But see, Europeans know how to hold their cards, and they can take you through some challenges with not even revealing themselves because they maintain the same facial expression throughout and will be literally throwing rocks or dirt on a casket and you would never know it. So, this is some of the clues we need to think about is your facial expression, your tone, how fast you compare, and how fast you correct, right? And so don't do the same thing you do back home. That sentence has entered or ended friendships, okay? You're not being welcomed in certain environments. It's going to end soon as you enter before it has an opportunity to start. So say these three trust lines instead. And what are the trust lines? I'm going to put them in the chat. Okay. So instead of responding negatively, you could say, help me understand how this works. What is the respectful way to handle this? Or I'm still learning. What would you recommend for me to do? So I want to ask you something in the chat, and I want you to respond. Whew. Okay. So if you've ever said back home and regretted it, type woo-wee in the comment. All right. So this is the key. You can be honest and respectful. You definitely can. Timing and tone decide whether honesty becomes an offense. And so it's not sometimes what you say, you've heard it before, right? It's how you say it. A lot of us are walking around on eggshells and very sensitive in trauma and hurt and walking outside of love and peace. And so, how can we bring something productive to the table if we are walking around self loathing, self hatred, and black on black hate? It's just not going to happen. And so now we're going to talk about rule number two. In rule number two, I'm going to put it in the chat just so I will have some notes here. And rule number two is listen for meaning, not just words. Listen for meaning and not just words. African Americans often get labeled aggressive for basic confidence. I can recall being in primary right institutions as employee, as an instructor, uh, as a educator, all of those things. When I had a response to a situation that wasn't right and I could bring proof to the table, I was considered aggressive. It wasn't about the delivery. It couldn't have been that Black people are intuitive, instinctive, they are highly intelligent. It wasn't that. It was they are aggressive when you started to voice your opinions just for basic confidence. So some of us overcorrect by being extra polite. That makes us feel fake, and that's not going to be favorable at all either. So here's a solution. Listen like you're building a bridge and not winning a case. Here are the three layers that's going to help you. I want to put these layers in the chat. There are three things that can help you build this bridge and to create this humility, relationship. Okay. It is going to be words, context, and dignity. The respectful echo line builds trust fast. So what I'm hearing is this: let me make sure I understand you correctly. Here's the reality. Sometimes folks aren't just rejecting you. They don't understand themselves. They are traumatized themselves. How can they accept or reject you and they don't know where they are? So they're reacting based on the knowledge that they have, and they're reacting to how you delivered it. It's not about your character, it's about the delivery. So I want to ask you a question. Do people in your life feel heard by you? And I want you to answer that in the chat. Type yes, are heard, type working if you're improving on it. Okay. And then rule number 3 is honor hierarchy without losing yourself. I want to give us a guide so that once you come back, or if you're new to the channel, I'm going to make sure we maintain these chat notes so that we can have access. Okay. So, rule number 3 is to honor hierarchy without losing yourself. Honoring is one of the most gifted things you can give yourself and someone else. This one is big for African Americans because we have a historical relationship with authority that's truly complicated, right? Sometimes we hear respect elders, and our nervous system hears be quiet, accept anything, don't challenge it. You know what I mean? And if you're like me, I was raised girls should be heard and not seen. So that made me a little bit of a recluse because I wanted not to create waves. And oftentimes I wanted to avoid having certain attention thrown at me as the baby of 10 children. Okay. So no, that's not what I'm teaching here. I'm teaching us about protocol, how to move with respect and keep your dignity. It's critical, it's very important. And all of these tools are going to help you migrate and immerse yourself in a most fabulous way, wherever you are in Africa. If you choosing to stay in Turtle Island, let us do what we need to do to make it a place where we feel love, we feel peace, and we can progress. Okay. So what people clock immediately is who you greet first. When you walk into a room, I'm sure you've heard this before. If you're African American, the people in the house are already there. So if you're entering to a space, it is customary that you greet those that are already there first. Whether you acknowledge elders, if you use titles, whether you embrace people publicly by shaking hands, bumping hands, giving them a hug, or whatever the case may be. So here's the power rule: correct folks in private and praise them in public. So a lot of times, we hear people say certain things and it don't come out right, and we automatically want to offer a correction. And that is not the best way to handle that situation, especially if they hadn't asked, did I say that right? Did I do that right? Can you tell me, give me your input or your feedback? Now, if they ask for your input, that's different. But if they don't, then you let it be, and you praise them in public. So respect and boundary. Okay, I want you to repeat after me. I was trying to play us some music, listening to Tony Jones and Londrell, gratitude. So repeat after me. I'm going to turn us on some good believe it meditation music. I respect your position. I want to handle this the right way. I can do that, but I can do this. Let us discuss privately so we can keep this respectful. So, those are the considerations. And which one of these four lines would you use in a real situation? I want you to drop one, two, three, or four. So, I'm going to put each one in the chat, and then you tell me which one you would use. Okay. So which one would you use? Drop one, two, three, or four. You don't have to be loud to be powerful. Powerful. You will just have to be wise. Rule number four is keep status quiet. Not everyone has to know your every single thought. So let character speak. Let your character speak. And people will know you by how you handle things, not by what you say. African Americans are used to being undervalued. I want us to really think about systemically how we've been mishandled and mistreated. And so, our basic beliefs and our values, we have to work really, really hard to encourage ourselves. And if anyone tells you they don't, then I'm going to be skeptical of them, because African Americans living in this country, we're always on guard, whether they choose to admit it or not. That is implied behavior and implied experiences. And so sometimes we will prove ourselves with our credentials, our money, our overgiving, over explaining. Let me show you I'm not like the stereotype. So we're constantly trying to prove ourselves to who and for what is my question. But hear me well, beloved. You don't earn trust by performing excellence. You earn trust by being consistent. So here's a few or several trust killers. Think about this. You're in a foreign land, flashing money, resume dumping. This is my favorite song. Loud generosity. Wow. I want to just take a minute to honor those who've passed away this year. This song just really dropped something, and maybe I'll pull it together. But if you could, please, let's just take a moment to honor our people today. I endeavor to live life the righteous way. I gotta be thankful because I know someone lost their life today. And so every moment I endeavor to live life the righteous way. To serve with a sense of purpose and let love light the way. Even if I die today,
That's just the price I pay. Just know I try to be kind and seek the divine every night and day.
All right. So this is called Gratitude by Landrell, okay? And so the trust killers are flashing money, resume dumping, loud generosity, and being the ATM friend. We talked about the cash cow syndrome. So I want you to say this with me. I don't need to be seen as important. I need to be seen as reliable. So, have you ever been used for resources, money, time, connections? If you have, I want you to type used in the comments, and you don't necessarily have to provide details, but type used in the comments for me. And rule number 5 is repair fast, own it, fix it, and move better. We have, you know, some commitments that we must follow and things we have to do for ourselves. And so we have to repair things very quickly. We have to own our mistakes, own our endeavors, on the challenges that we are facing. Then we have to fix it and we have to move better. So we will make mistakes. That's normal. What matters is whether we repair them with maturity or defend with an ego. So, part 4 repair is name it, own it, respect it, and correct it. So, here is an example of an apology, right? It is strong, it's not groveling, it's not begging, but it is an apology. We could say, when we're trying to repair this and not defend a situation, you are right. I came off wrong. That was disrespectful. I apologize. I'm going to move differently next time. That's a big difference, instead of going back and forth with a person. So a clean apology and change behavior builds more trust than being perfect. All right. So I just want to focus on a couple of things and give you the 5 humility rules. And I want to put them in this chat. The 5 humility rules. Number 1, you want to enter as a guest, right? So this is all about respecting spaces instead of automatically claiming a space. That's what we want to do. And then we want to listen for meaning, listen for meaning and not just words. And the third rule is to honor hierarchy without losing yourself. And the fourth rule is going to be to keep status quiet. Let your character speak for itself. And number 5, we are going to we're going to repair fast, on it, on it, and move better. Okay. That's what we are going to do is number 5. We are going to own it and repair it fast. And some of these things are just, they're not like in your face kind of scenarios. These are subliminal things that you do and that is built in, and it becomes a very part of who you are and your very nature. And so we try to self correct to make sure that we maintain this open space and this conversation. So I want to for us to try to build relationships and to try to understand the gravity and the direction that we are headed in. So I respect you. I want to handle this well. I can't do this, but I can do this kind of scenario. So I'm not perfect in all of these things. I love you. I respect you. But this is what I bring to the table. This is what I can do. So I'm going to put the belonging playlist in the chat. And just to remind you, feel free to revisit that playlist, and it will provide further details. And I'll also be doing a video on Tuesday about the 5 humility rules. So I want to ask you to remain focused. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. I value who you are. I value who we are. So I just want to ask a question. What's hardest for you currently? Not over explaining, not overreacting, or not over giving. And what situation are you navigating right now? I can tell you that for me, it would be not over explaining too and not over giving. Because I am a meticulous type of person and I compartmentalize information. And so the information, I want to explain it to the fullest when a person really just wants to know, okay, is it ABC? And sometimes I'm giving them the details. And then another thing, my daughter and people that I know says that I am a typical martyr. I pour in to people readily and very easily. And it's challenging for me, even when the very people who need services and who invite services turn around and react differently once they start achieving success. So, I'm pouring in consistently and I'm over giving consistently. And so that is a big challenge for me. But I'm grateful in 2026. I'm going to put self first, not with arrogance. I'm going to do it out of love and give myself permission to focus on myself. And so that's a part of my 2026 goal and beyond. It is not just for 2026, it is for 2026 and beyond. So today it was a bit of a short one. I'm a little bit heavy, not a little bit, a lot heavy hearted because I find it very interesting that we are not, supporting each other and that we still have internal strife and we are still categorizing one another when really our enemy has a trap set and we keep running right into the trap. So that right there is a lot. It's a lot for me. I've been burning and doing what I need to do to care for myself. But I'm often worried and wondering how many of us are thinking in this time of transition. So today I'm just going to offer up you some incense. I'm going to do that today to awaken and to acknowledge where we are in life, and that whatever the situation may be, may it be sweet, a sweet, sweet smell in your senses. And may you be awakened to the reality that you are a God, and that gods have the ability to change situations instantly. So may this 5 cents incense grant you love, joy, peace, and mercy. And may your 2026 be better, brighter, intuitively well. You're creating spaces, your borders are expanding, and you're adding wealth to your table. So I'm going to hold that security of self, security of community, and security for generations to come is the legacy that will come out of this situation. So, in honor of you today, I share the sweet, sweet essence for us together. And I offer it up and ask our ancestors to guide the way. And may we continue to shine a light on who we are as a people. And if someone else is struggling or the load is heavy and they're downtrodden and just beaten up by anxiety and stress, may we offer solutions but not rescue them from a situation. So, Ashe, my people, thank you so much. This is going to be the end of my live today. Um, and I want you to keep Art Kathy and her family in your thoughts. You know, we are not perfect. We all make bad decisions. And so, but she has transitioned and she has an opportunity for a restorative life into infinity and beyond. I can't judge her. I don't know her. She didn't know me, but what I do know is that she had family and she had a son. And so whatever it was, I'm just asking for us to walk in humility and in forgiveness. This is Be Wise African Network. I am Loretta Simpson. I am your host. I want to thank you and ask you to hit that notification bell. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want the full details of belonging in Africa, make sure you go to the playlist and check it out. Okay, thank you guys. Peace, love, and light. I'm out. Let's see what they got here. Londrell is playing as we exit out of here. Uh, that is going to be Tony. So we are manifesting and shifting in our mindset, okay? They decided to take a musical break. But I, Shay, my people, thank you and have a good evening.
I'm realizing how dope that is. Thinking about who says, who does she think she is?